it's SickBoy from the Gaminganarchist Collective and welcome to the Anarchic Eye for the 9th of December 2013. Before I get on to the news, I'd just like to wish Sam of Mr. Sam Explains a happy first anniversary on YouTube. Go check out his little montage video he's done. It was a good bit of work and I really enjoyed it. Congratulations Sam, here's looking forward to more years ahead. Well, it seems being an absolute idiot seems to pay for some people, because the man I reported the other day who spent £450 on the photograph of an Xbox was the object of much internet ridicule for his absolute stupidity, considering it said it was a photo when he bought it, has been bailed out by Kex. Now, those who don't know what Kex is a UK-based retailer that deals in used games mostly. He deals in used hardware, used games. People go in, trade their stuff. It's mostly used. Occasionally they sell new stuff. They will sell, for example, I noticed that they're selling Xbox Ones and PS4s for about £100 over the retail price, because they're scabby twats in general. But you can get some good second-hand deals there. Now, this is pretty damn frustrating, frankly, to see somebody's absolute stupidity getting notoriety, getting him a free Xbox One. Now, granted, not free because he paid for it. So some other tosser has got £450 for scamming this guy. And this guy is then getting a replacement machine from a company that is just trying to get cynical advertisement. Do you know what? It's got it. Now people are going to think that they're wonderful, when in fact, really what they're doing is capitalising and getting really good advertising for very little money. Sensible move for them, but bear in mind, they are not saints, they are cynical pricks trying to get hold of your goodwill. Right, Konami are being dicks. Actually for two reasons really today, but the first one first. Konami have asked Xbox Live and the PSN to withdraw Skullgirls for sale because they've fallen out with the developers and they're not doing business with them anymore. It turns out that Lab Zero have said that they can't actually get another patch out because Konami are blocking it. They want to increase and enhance the game. Konami aren't interested in funding the patching, and so they have now ceased dealing with each other and they're now trying to pull the item from sale. That is going to mean that the online game is going to be pulled, the servers are going to be shut down, and it does look like Labs are looking to re-release the game and fix these problems, but Konami, why are you going to be such dicks about this? Fine, don't deal with them in the future, but support this title at the very least for the next year or so while the PSN and the Xbox Live moves across to the Xbox One and the PS4. While there are still people playing this game, you have done a massive disservice to the fans, to the people who've given you money. I don't care that you're not dealing with the developers anymore, that you don't want to do any more business with them. That is not appropriate. Okay? You don't get to do that. That is a kick in the arse of people who've supported this game, and this game has been a very successful title. Fairly low budget title, has had huge amounts of problems, certainly on the Xbox Live with patches. People waited absolutely forever for a patch on this game. And you've now just cut those fans off and left them flapping in the wind. Konami, that is a dick move. Well, the VGX Awards really pissed off a lot of people. This was on Spike TV. There was very little of real interest. Some people watched it purely for the trailers. Now, if you don't want to go through the stream or watch the VGX consolidated stream they're going to put out there, I've got a nice link for you to watch. This link's from shop2.net and it will give you all of the trailers, all of the premiere trailers that were on those award ceremonies, and you don't need to worry about anything else. One thing I will say, that I'm going to call this now. Telltale fatigue is going to set in over the next year to 18 months, big time. I really like The Walking Dead, and I'm enjoying The Wolf Among Us. But let's bear in mind that the previous Telltale games were not all that good. Jurassic Park, not very good. Back to the Future, not bad. The Walking Dead was their big hit, and I'm enjoying The Wolf Among Us. Seeing that they're going to make a Borderlands game, seeing that they're going to make a Game of Thrones game, I'm a little concerned that everyone is going to be jumping towards this again, and it's going to be oversaturation, and people are going to get tedious and pissed off with it. Just my prediction that within the next year or so, the reviews are going to start getting bad, people will start getting bored of it, and there is another promising type of game that's going to get shelved because it will cease to become popular and cease to become profitable. This is what happens. Something good comes along and everybody smacks it with a stick as much as possible to try and get as much money out of it, like it's a big piñata full of gold dust, only to find that it's then dry and then they leave it in the side of the road. That's what's going to happen. I see it coming. And it's unfortunate because I've really enjoyed the Walking Dead series. And I said, I have enjoyed the first episode of Wolf Among Us. But there we go. Incidentally, I said, go to that link. All the trailers are there. Go enjoy. Right, well, a bit of good news for the modding community. Bohemia Interactive have announced the Make Armour Not War campaign. This is a €500,000 modding competition with prizes ranging from 200,000 to 20,000 euros in order to make mods in 4 different categories. And it's all there in the link, all in the description field. You can see that, and if you're interested in modding into that, obviously the modding in Arma has been a big deal. Arma 2, obviously the DayZ mod coming out, that becoming a big standalone deal. It sold so many copies of Arma 2, and they are looking to make more out of that. Because of course Arma is an interesting, and it's a very technically accomplished game. It's just not for everyone because it's a very dry, very sterile experience, very realistic experience, and not everyone's looking for that. People want to see more fast gunplay and what have you, and they find perhaps Arma to be a bit sluggish. It's somewhat of a dad game. A lot of kids aren't really interested in Arma, and maybe this competition is purely there to build up that modding community in order to help get more people engaged and interested in the product, shift more units, and pay modders who do these things for free in general. So I think it's great. So anyone, any modders, any young coders, or any established adult coders interested in doing this and want to mod the system, go to the link, see the entry conditions, and go knock yourself out. Have fun with it. Right, well, here's a little lesson for EA. Don't release broken games. Because Battlefield 4, is a good solid game apparently, which I haven't played because I don't want to go with Origins, has got some serious bugs and has been needed to be patched. And in fact, the first patch has caused more problems with the title. SimCity all over again. This has caused EA's stock to dip 7.3%. This is where we needed to go with. We can see that now, issues with launch titles, you can't just shove the game out and expect it to be buoyed by the fact that it had day one sales. Bad day one releases that require patching are now starting to reflect on the stock market. People are paying attention to gamers' feedback. This is a very important thing that we need to remain very vocal, and I genuinely believe that the pushback on these issues are what directly impact the stock value. It is now filtering through to bad PR. Websites are now reporting gamers reacting badly to products is now becoming a stable thing. It's not just whinging entitled blah blah blah. They take it very seriously. Now, news stories are reporting when things are bad, and they're not being as dismissive as they used to be. This is a good step for gamers. We should hold on to this and bear in mind that we really do have control. If a company sells a subpar product, you are well within your rights to tell them precisely how shitty you think it is and see the effect on them. And hopefully they will start releasing better games, releasing complete games, and no more of this day one patch crap. We're not going to get rid of the day one patch crap, but we will at least make companies hesitant to release poor quality games in the future. Well, as I reported a couple of weeks ago, that the NSA had been bending the arms of large US software companies, Microsoft have come out and said, now, I'm going to call this what this is, bullshit PR. However, they have come out and said that they were not aware to the extent that the NSA were getting information through their software, which I think is a lie, but they're coming out and saying exactly what the consumers want. And they're saying that they will have to upgrade their security, they will withhold this, and they're now pushing for the NSA to change its policies on data gathering. This is good news for people in general. I am glad to see, although I'm absolutely certain this is wiping their hands PR. This is them saying it's not our fault, not our problem, please don't hate us for it. However, it's a dick move, guys, but I'm glad to see that you are saying the right things when under pressure. Don't pretend you didn't know the NSA had that. Don't pretend you didn't know they'd had the access to your encryption before you'd even launched Outlook.com. Don't bullshit us. However, good. Start saying the right things and start treating our information like it actually matters to us, because it does. Our identity, our metadata is pretty much more important than anything you can have. Your public information, your private details, they are worth money. to other people. That is why websites want you to put their email address in. That's why they want your phone number and your home address. That's why you go to stores now and they'll ask you what your postcode is. Or your zip code if you're not in the UK. They do that. They ask for your address. Because that data is metadata. That metadata is worth money to them because they can sell it to other people. I'm glad to see them start making baby steps towards acknowledging that we are not wholly for sale. Although, of course, a lot of people are just going to quite happily sell themselves for whatever. But keep it up, keep the pressure on, and keep telling them precisely what you think of them. Microsoft's Phil Harrison has just kicked himself in the arse yet again with inconsistent, hypocritical rhetoric. He has announced that the launch games of the Xbox One are just scratching the surface of the capability of the machine. And I believe him. There is much more that you can get out of that hardware than you currently are. If you can't get native 1080p on titles in the future, there's something wrong with your hardware. Frankly, it's not being very well utilised. However, talking about the unlimited power of the cloud, the fucking power of the cloud again, here we go. You were only coming out a few days ago saying that you are committed to single-player offline experience, that is your core business, that gamers want that. And then all of a sudden you go, our console is not limited, we have unlimited online processing power. You cannot have both, dipshit. You can have enhanced online experiences through the power of the cloud, but you cannot enhance the single-player offline experience with cloud processing without sticking in always on DRM. Can you, Microsoft? No, you fucking can't. So do not lie. Say what you mean. Say you are committed to a wholly online future. Do not lie and say, well, actually, following the backlash and everything, we've realised that, yeah, offline gaming is really important to our core audience. Don't bullshit your customers. They have dropped a lot of money and a lot of trust on you, despite the fact that people have been very, very suspicious and hesitant and slagging you off since E3. People have ignored that. They have supported you. They have come and defended you. Now, do not fuck them over. Ubisoft are nothing if they are not consistent in their methodology. With the success of Assassin's Creed 4, they sent out a survey to their fans asking, what do you want? Which is good, actually. You should be asking what they want. And they just basically asked, are you interested in just doing pirate naval battles and stuff like that? And guess what? Yeah, people are. There aren't very many very good pirate games, and Assassin's Creed 4 is a damn good pirate game. Whether it's necessarily a good assassination game, that's a different question. Is it a damn good pirate game? Yes. Is it got a good better narrative about what it's like to be a AAA developer? Yes, it does. Yes, it's a solid title. It's the best Assassin's Creed in a good few years, according to those who've played it. I haven't played it yet. I'll be playing it when I get my next-gen system. So, there we go. They're asking, obviously, they're saying, do you want interested in PvP pirate combat? Fucking right people are. Yes. Good call. Now, what you don't want to be doing, Ubisoft, is taking the content of Assassin's Creed 4 and spinning that off into its own franchise that then gets rinsed to fucking death. If you want to end Assassin's Creed and continue with just a pirate series entirely fresh on the back of Assassin's Creed, that may well be a good call. If you want to swap one franchise to another, but don't stick another franchise in your stable. Don't rinse and nut. So what, then you're going to be having Watch Dogs, Assassin's Creed, and Pirate the Musical. Really? Is that it? Don't keep banging on franchises, but maybe you should realise that perhaps the components of Assassin's Creed are played out. Maybe you could the mechanics of these could be utilised better in an entirely new franchise. And maybe, not necessarily a pirate one, but maybe some kind of naval-based combat third-person action game with PvP, where you can sail into somewhat like Dark Souls and you can invade other people's worlds and sink their ships, raid their stuff and steal their booty like a bloody pirate. Or you can be, you could be, say, representative of the East India Company. You could be part of the Navy. You could be part of different kinds of navies. Hell, you could have a Napoleonic Wars game. How cool would that be? I've just thought of that. That is a damn genius idea. Have naval warfare in that respect, including some land battling, some melee combat, PvP. Great idea. I'm glad that you are asking the consumers what they want. Now make sure you give it to them without any bullshit. Fans of Dumner rejoice, because Morrowind, the port for Morrowind into the Skyrim engine, is making fantastic progress. Now they have released a beta where you can actually download this for free, as long as you have Skyrim, as long as you have all of the DLC, if you have the Game of Year edition of Morrowind, they have imported the title into the Skyrim engine. Now as of right now, there's very little connectivity, there's very little going on with it other than just the world itself. But this is really promising. I would like to see more of this, please. Hell, if someone could import all of the Elder Scrolls games into the Skyrim engine, that'd be terrific. I like stuff like this. Please do more. I like the modding community doing stuff like this. Taking these high quality engines and sticking the old version. We don't need your HD remasters from the developers, because all you do is do a half-assed attempt. Let people who love the game remake it, take all of the content and do all the work for you. Hell, if you want to then do something and say, you know, purchase the license for the actual mod from the modders and sell it for a small amount of money, I don't think people will be too pissed at that. Because perhaps the modders should deserve to earn some damn money off their work. But frankly, as a fan of Morrowind, I think this is absolutely terrific. Another day, and it seems Microsoft had to do another bit of rumour control. On 4chan, somebody had announced that you can make your Xbox One backwards compatible. Now, this, unlike the previous bit of trolling I mentioned, is a bad fucking prank, because it will apparently brick your machine if you start dicking around trying to make it backwards compatible. They have announced there is no way to make it backwards compatible by tinkering around with the machine. So if you do, it will invalidate your warranty, and it may well completely brick it. So bear that absolutely in mind, that if you're going to try and do things like that, make sure it is from a valid source, make sure you trust it, because frankly they will not honour your warranty, I'm sure, if you start tinkering around with the machine. Well, just to finish up, I mentioned at the very beginning that there was another Konami dick move I wanted to mention, and this is what it is. Now, I mentioned in the past that Sony had exclusive content for Metal Gear Solid 5 Ground Zeroes that you could play as Solid Snake from MGS1 in a mission, a Deja Vu mission. It turns out that the Xbox One will also, as I announced, will have some exclusive content, and that's now been announced. It's going to be an exclusive mission featuring Raiden. Now, this is why I think this is a dick move, Konami. I don't mind so much that you took a PSP title that was Ground Zeroes when you knew there was going to be a next generation console, rather than developing it for the PS3, Xbox 360 or the Vita. You decided to go whole hog and stick it into the Fox engine. I get that. An upgrade from the PSP to the PS4 and the Xbox One, that is a big leap, okay? Even though it's going to be on the 360 and the PS3 as well. So that, I don't mind so much that you've done that. What I do mind is when you release the same game on multiple formats and do separate exclusives for each format. That's a dick move. And I'm talking about someone who has every, not the old NES versions, but I have Metal Gear Solid 1, 2, 3, 4. I have got the HD collection. I even have the Legacy collection, and this is a bad fucking idea, since I didn't realise quite how little extra content, and I already had MGS4, so it was a waste of damn money. But I fucked up. I actually got to get it. I did it for the digital copy of MGS1 that I could play on my PS3. Hell, it was my own call. I wanted to throw some money. What's good money after bad? I also have the GameCube edition. I also have 3D Snake Eater on my 3DS. I've got the Game Boy versions. I have supported this title big time. But I am not interested in buying parallel ports of the same game with exclusive mission content. That is fucking shady, and it is taking advantage of your fans, trying to make them buy it on both platforms so they can experience both missions. And then if you release them later as DLC, that is slightly less shady, but still bullshit practice. You should not be doing this, and I don't give a shit that it's part of the Japanese kind of game release culture. It will not fly over here. Not interested. Release the whole game on all platforms, or don't release it on the platform. That's it. If you have to cut the title, you have to stick exclusive stuff in, don't release it on that platform, release the full title on the platforms. That's what we want. Don't want any of your bullshit. Anyway, guys, you'll be looking through the 2020 vision of the Anarchic Eye. Thanks a lot for watching. I'll catch you guys later.